Perfect. Pocket full of dinero.
Welcome everybody. It's your boy Pocket full of Dinerobeats. The stream about to start soon. We're about to go over what Charleston White said about karma. We're about to go over how vows are vows and what we speak is basically powers in the tongue though. Basically, we're about to go through some videos on that. And about to play some GTA 5 online. And stay tuned. Probably watch some more videos and review. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on your way in.
Pocket full of dinero. Pocket full of dinero. Perfect.
Stream starting soon on your way in. And if you're watching this on the playback, I greatly appreciate the like button being hit. Let's get back to it.
Yep. 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 Mm-hmm.
Let's get started. Welcome.
Pocket full of dinero beats.
Isn't real.
Nah, it ain't real.
Right? Karma isn't real because it's too many successful people out here doing bad business and reaping all the rewards.
Karma.
All right, let's get started. It's the Charleston White video. He talking about karma ain't real. Isn't real. We about to hear what he got to say. I watched the video a little bit before. We about to watch the full video.
Karma don't exist in the Bible.
Bad business and reaping all the rewards.
Karma don't exist in the Bible. Karma don't exist in the Quran. So if
explain that a little bit.
If karma is real, when do the 1%?
How it sound? Let me know.
Percent of the people who run the world get their karma.
Get that just due. Right. But is that to say that, like, for me to try to make it, let's say I'm trying to make it in the world, I'm trying to hit on the straight and narrow, I'm trying to do everything right. Is it possible to be successful without stepping on a few toes? Is there a just path?
No.
Hey, salute to Charleston White and the Danza Project. Salute to them brothers for this interview. Pretty good interview, by the way. I ain't gonna lie. Mind you, I watched some of it. I ain't watch all of it, but it was good what I was watching.
that gets you to the top? Or do I gotta be a savage at some point and step on some toes?
The good guy never wins. The guy who plays by the rules.
Hey, fair use, y'all.
Never win. Cheaters win. The guy who works hard never makes it to the top. He stay at the bottom working hard till he die.
A friend of mine, because I had this similar thought, a friend of mine explained it to me. He said it's two people that they go into school for the same thing. They go to school, they do all their homework, they submit their projects, they go to work, they get a job. They both are doing the exact same thing. One person takes a shortcut. One person takes a good idea from somebody else and implements it into their process. They get the boost. The other person just follows the rules the whole time, the whole way.
Yeah. The person that does that is mediocre.
Lackluster, mediocre performance.
Being
I
honest.
don't want no mediocre.
Homie.
Most people are mediocre, by the way.
Nobody wants an honest person, but they want you to say you're honest. Nobody wants you coming in here saying, homie, you come to my company and we cheating and doing wrong, and you're gonna be honest.
We have to recycle.
Nobody
We have to.
Wait, yo, that recycle was. I looked down for a second and look at the comments. That recycle was really white. I was like, shit.
So think about the movie American Gangster, homie. Nigga, all them police was mad at that white cop for being honest.
Right.
Nobody trusted him because he was honest. Nobody likes the honest guy when we doing wrong.
Nice guys finish last.
Come on, homie. Nobody likes the guy on the job who does the job by the book, does the job by the rule. When he come around, nigga, we all, come on now. Yeah.
Here you go.
Come on, homie.
Damn. Because I would love to say that it's possible to make it to the top by following the rules and not fucking nobody over and not stealing and cheating. And
Hey, but really, are they lying though? Being objective, are they lying? Because we see people, politicians, people that do grimy stuff, but they keep getting away with the stuff. Like, how? How y'all keep getting away with this? Like, dang, I ain't fair. I mean, not fair, but shoot, people eventually get it, but sometimes we see the people that was able to destroy the history books and all this other stuff. Something to think about.
and doing all this, but
No,
the
nobody.
way shit be panning out, it's like you gotta be a little dirty. You gotta
They-
be willing to.
They told us, it ain't what you know, it's who you know. The people didn't get to the top because they worked there. They knew somebody that helped them get to the top, that opened a door for them. Hard work pays off. But it don't make you win. It just pays off. You gotta kind of do something extra.
You gotta.
You got to.
The way I've learned to understand it is, at the very least, you gotta understand the rules of engagement. So even if you choose not to be a dirty person or break the rules, you gotta know what rules they're playing with, so you don't not susceptible to it.
You gotta learn to lie even when you telling the truth to make it at the top.
Correct. Right.
Homie, being an honest person is gonna derail you.
Unfortunately.
You can't say to your woman, I think you lying.
Yeah.
You can't say to your woman when she say,
she is beautiful.
you can't say,
you bet not.
baby, do you think I'm
Hey,
fat?
you really
in this
can't
dress?
though.
Yeah, baby,
You really
look
can't
fat
at the
in
end of
this
the
dress.
day.
You can't say that. You can't be at work and say the things that you think honestly. You have to play. Homie, you have to be in a relationship with a person that you're willing to lie to protect their feelings. You can't be honest to your woman, nigga.
You bet not.
If you want peace, you gotta learn to lie in order to maintain peace
so crazy.
and to protect her feelings. You can't be honest. So the things that they tell us to do and the things that they tell us to work really don't work. Being honest don't work, homie. Nobody is honest all the time. Everybody has an agenda, even with their honesty.
Even with the honesty.
Come on, my nigga.
That's the cold. That's the cold hard truth.
That's why I say, my nigga, just be real with yourself and real with the person you fucking with. That way y'all can deal with honesty. Just being real with yourself and being real to the people that you engaging and fucking with. That way y'all can deal with honesty. But homie, most people running from honesty, nigga, because that shit hurt. That shit is shameful, nigga. That shit.
I mean, pay attention. Everybody has an agenda, even people that's being honest. I'm gonna run it back real quick.
That shit hurt. That shit is shameful, nigga. That shit is heartbreaking. The truth, honesty.
Ugly.
Come on, my nigga.
Shit ugly.
The honest truth is, homie, most of us go work till we die. We'll never be rich, or most of us are gonna pass down poverty to our children. That's the honest to God truth. But you can't sit up and have no conversation with the family and say that's what we go do.
And most of us don't give a fuck. I hate saying us because I'm not gonna put myself in that conversation. I just feel like I'm somebody who I've been involved in business for a very fucking long time. On God, I always thought 100% certainty that everybody wanted to be great. Everybody wanted to get rich. Everybody wanted to provide for their family. One of the hardest lessons I was ever taught was that's just you.
Yeah,
Stop thinking that they wanted as much as you do.
All wanted as bad.
And honestly, I really sincerely used to have arguments with every manager, every owner, and every business partner I've ever had. Until a certain point, when I had that conversation with somebody and I was like, hey, I saw somebody that I felt like was good. And I'm like, you know what? I wanna help you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna change your life. I'm gonna give you a job, give you opportunity. And they were like, yo, whoa. And I spoke about this before. They're like, nah, as long as I got my bike and my video games, I'm cool. I took it as a joke. I'm like, obviously he's joking, you know what I mean? But yo, come work with me next week. I got you. I'm gonna take care of you.
And you know what's crazy is I heard something like similar to that before, and then I heard another iteration of it the other day. With like, some people are just, I guess, born to be losers or choose a certain path in life that others might deem in society like, oh, you don't care about this or that, or things that's considered loser behavior or outcast behavior. And to the masses, it seems like it's weird, especially if you like, I don't know. I see what Brian's saying. Like, damn, you feel like that? What they say, you can't save everybody sometimes, dog.
Swear to God, the only thought in my mind was he's joking, he's gonna take the job. He was dead ass serious. And I started realizing that more and more as life went on. Some people genuinely don't look at it as I'm taking care of my child. They're looking at it as, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
They don't care about their children or their family or their name.
Man, this motherfucker feel like they made a mistake having a baby. And they can't wait for this motherfucker to get grown and get out the motherfucking house. Man, a man when he have a baby, it ain't a burden. It ain't a burden. That's an opportunity to right your wrong. You get to raise something opposite of you and make it good. Nigga, you get to pour into goodness, into that's you again. You get to make you good, homie.
Yeah.
Nigga, you get to make you good. Whatever type, whatever idea that you want it to be, that you get to make it that.
Whatever you didn't get.
Yeah, so
you can be for that.
So as a man, nigga, I started realizing that it's not that they don't care. It's just that they was taught all a man need was some pussy, a car, a chain, and a watch. And they okay with that. It was some more niggas raised that all they need was a job, a burro, a blunt, and a black and mild. Even if they ain't got the kids. Long as they can get some pussy, a burro, a black and mild. So that's what it became about. Because nigga, we wasn't taught.
That's a whole fact though,
we wasn't
bro.
taught how to value the baby. Because we wasn't valued babies.
So, yeah.
We wouldn't value babies. We just had a desire to be the opposite, nigga, of what we resented. Nigga, our daddies. We done that out of resentment.
It's true.
We became the kind of fathers that we are because we resented our fathers. Nigga, didn't nobody teach us how to do this.
And then the craziest shit is when you start to realize, like, damn, I'm a lot more like that nigga than I
Say,
thought.
man, I ain't even know that nigga. And I'm just like him. And everybody said, nigga, I'm
everybody
just
tell
like him.
me too.
You know why? Because I got his traits by nature.
See,
I got that
genes.
nigga nature, nigga. So when you moving as a man, nigga, that's why the woman, you put that seed in. If you know your nature. If you know your nature, nigga.
Bro, they was just speaking a whole bunch of facts. That last little minute was just key. And that's why they say the structure of the family household, all that is key, dog. Pay attention.
You know a little bit about your father. You look at all the men in your family. When you come in a woman pussy, you got to. You know a little bit about your father. You look at all the men in your family. When you come in a woman pussy, you got to know she got to protect that nature. Because nigga, this nature can make a fucked up individual. And that's why most niggas who got gangster fathers and gangster daddies, they be worse than they daddies. If they daddies play football or basketball, they be better than they daddies. Mayweather was better than his daddy. Look at Deion Boyd. That nature and that spirit that you got is in him and is magnified in him, nigga. True. Whether you're that.
And that's that clip. We gon' hold on. That's that clip. We're gonna go to our next clip. Podcast with Terrence Howard. And I forget the other gentleman's name on here. Dr. Jeff and Terrence Howard, bro. They talking about one of the topics is the flower of life, but also just Terrence Howard, how he gets into his roles, because he has been in a lot of movies, dog. He like the black Matthew McConaughey or something like that, dog, to keep it real with you. But just what he been on, just on some philosophy and on some just doing different research other than acting, just stuff that he into. Y'all just check it out real quick. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. I greatly appreciate it.
I love it. So people were definitely interested in what you started off with, talking about your motivation for acting and how you weren't really interested in becoming an actor at first, and your mother kind of pushed you to that. And then you made a statement about your purpose as being in the science and inventing and helping people to basically heal. Can you talk a little bit more about that identified purpose as it relates to science, and how have you been able to wed the two, the acting and the science, together?
Well, one of the good sides that came with acting, even though, like, there's an old proverb that says no one does a single thing for a single motive. Everyone has multiple motives for each action. I became an actor because I thought that I wanted to get my mother's approval, and didn't recognize that the platform that would give me by dancing in and out of other characters, changing my own natural homeostasis chemical state, when I would have to increase the cortisol levels, by playing Lucius and all the things that came with that, or decreasing those levels and increasing the dopamine, or some of those other epinephrine relaxative chemicals that come about inside the body. And then I realized that our entire body is a chemical processing plant. Yes. Our skin cells, what do they produce? They produce a proteins, keratin. Our liver, our kidneys produce renin. Our liver converts that renin into angiotensin 1, that goes into the body, up into the lungs. It becomes angiotensin 2 and aldosterone. So everything is a chemical processing plant, every structure, because it's utilizing the chemicals, which are nothing more than motion of either electricity or magnetism, and where we balance each other. That's all the chemicals are. Everything is just motion. Everything comes from two motions. Electricity isn't electricity. Electricity is the result of a particular motion, of a centripetal motion. And magnetism, it's not a real thing. Magnetism is the effect of centrifugal motion.
Without
Everything is either spinning to the right or spinning to the left, contracting or expanding. And when people can understand that and recognize that, I think Plato once said that life was really about filling up a vessel and pouring the vessel out. All universal function is filling up something and dispelling it. So I want mankind to understand that. I also want mankind to understand that because of the understanding we have, we are responsible for our actions and everything that takes place in our actions. So as becoming an actor, I remember I had a conversation with Lorenz Tate about Old Dog, the character Old Dog that he played to society. And I said, are you worried at all about people imitating? How many young men might have imitated Old Dog and the lives that may have been lost as a result of it? He said, I think about it a lot, but I'm not responsible for how somebody takes a character that I've played. But I found that I think I am responsible for what I put out on that screen. And so it's just balanced, understanding chemistry, understanding changing your emotion. And then I wanted to understand, okay, well, how does that affect, how's that translated in color? How's that translated in shape? How is that translated in the overall cosmogony of everything? Because everything had to be connected. So that's where I kind of crossed those bridges a little bit, if that wasn't too far off.
No, I follow you, brother. Because I mean, especially when you were talking about the spinning in and spinning out, the filling up and the emptying. And so I saw when you were saying that, like you're saying, going in and out of character, literally manipulating your own physiology in order to manifest a different type of personality. And that's a very deep level, because I'm sure that all actors probably do that, but not all do it consciously and
like you said, not all of them are able to do that. And that's key. And if you just pay attention to longevity in certain actors that's able to play certain characters, like a Terrence Howard, just think like they able to. He about to hopefully he explained it in this part of the podcast. I forget which, but it's during this part of the podcast he explained that.
Understand that that's actually what's happening to their being at the time. I mean, there's a story about Tupac when he played Bishop and Juice, and how, you know, that some say he never came back from that. You know, I think it was Tretch from Naughty by Nature that spoke on that, that after Pac played that character, he never came all the way back to being Tupac Shakur, you know, the descendant of Black Panthers. You know, he went a little bit deeper into that thug life world.
Well, think about it. We have a number of different genes in our body that isn't activated, that becomes activated as a result of necessity. A number of genes. And sometimes playing a particular character puts you in a particular emotional pressure condition. And as a result of those raised cortisol levels or depleted dopamine levels or raised dopamine levels, other genes are activated. And genes are still part of him. Even though he's playing a character, he can only play it based upon his own understanding and common frame of reference. So it doesn't just affect the physical mind and the chemical composition that's taking place. That chemical composition also presses upon the individual genes. And you get like if you don't eat for 4 days, what happens? Particular genes kick in for survival that are necessary for us, that will allow us to eat things that we typically would not be able to break down. You know, that changes how the bladder is going to react, how the pancreas is going to react, how everything will react as far as secreting what's necessary to break down certain things. So everything is affected by everything. And as a character, I hope that I've affected people, because even when I played a bad guy, I've always played him from the perspective of somebody trying to get something done out of frustration. I've rarely played someone. The only person I played that was absolutely evil was Trumpy in Idlewild. Trumpy was evil. Yeah. Plain and simple, because he had a hatred for life. With like Doc Holliday, played by Val Kilmer in Tombstone, you know, some who wanted revenge for being born and being live in this existence. And many people out there, many of the people that might watch this, they are angry, you know, for having to be born and put into this situation called life, because they're not recognizing the fact that out of a 500 million sperm and a 24-hour blind marathon as a male and a 72-hour to 128-hour blind marathon as a female, going from here, the distance from the earth to the moon, as far as going from the vaginal cavity all the way up to reaching where the egg will reach. That's a distance comparable of going from here to the moon, going 3 or 4 millimeters, you know, a minute at best. And each one of us won that race, 500 million man race, climbing over our dead brothers and sisters, not being defeated, following the purpose of I'm getting to this egg no matter what. I'm getting to this egg, and when I get to this egg and hit that corona radiata, I'm gonna blast myself in there, and the zone of pollution.
I know it might sound crazy, but it's pretty funny though.
Lucida, I'm gonna push myself inside of there, and even if it breaks my head, I'm going to get there. That's the determination that we have to have, because that's what we got to life with. And when people forget that they won a 500 million man race, they forget how powerful they are. You come into this life as a winner.
Right. And see, what you're bringing up now is, again, you know, in our last conversation, you maybe go back to my reference on African psychology. And when I'm teaching developmental psychology, you know, human development, child and adolescent development, you know, most of the Western theories started off at birth. They say from 0 to 2, every stage always starts at birth. But what I always tell people is that no, your developmental trajectory began with your very first ancestor, and everything that they've experienced is culminated in this current life that you have. And so what you were just speaking about, that whole consciousness, or that the experience of being in that 500 million person race or being race, and then having to, you know, do what you like, climb over your dead brothers and sisters, the other sperm that don't make it and they die. You know, that is a part of the developmental process that a lot of people overlook, you know, especially with the Western science. You maybe think of something else. So the concept of personality, right, is based on the word persona, which is Greek for mask. And so people think that, you know, what you're talking about, the acting, is just you put on a mask, you play a role, you take the mask off, and that's just all it is. And not really understanding the depth of it. And what I'm coming to understand just in this conversation is that it's more like, you know, the movie Split, right? You know, when they had the multiple personality, or we call it dissociative identity disorder, and how each of the different personalities actually had its own physiology, had its own thing. Like there are records to where people can have one personality that loves peanut butter sandwiches, choke sandwiches, and another one of the personalities in the same body can have a peanut allergy and literally have the reaction to the peanuts, right? Just as if they have an allergy in the same body though. And it speaks truth to what you're saying, scientific support of what you're saying about the changing of the physiology to meet these different character needs and these different identities and these different personalities.
You can't turn it off. Once those genes are turned on, you know, it takes an ice age to turn them off. You know, it takes another extreme circumstance to turn them off. And so every time you're talking to an actor, you know, literally all of those characters are present. They don't let go. All of those characters are present, and you just have to try and remember. It's like someone with Parkinson's, and you know, all of these unnecessary twitches are happening, and they're just trying to stay normal down the center line. And that's why a lot of actors become fake, because they can do an imitation of themselves better than.
Hit that like button. Let me know what y'all think. His opinion on this in the comments or in the chat. In the comments, if you watch it on the playback, if you watch it, if you want to get your opinion, so let me see in the chat.
Being themselves because they've forgotten who they are.
Wow. See, they just take on a whole persona just to help to maintain the sanity of their day-to-day existence.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's levels to this. You also mentioned that in SAG, there's no mental health. It doesn't cover mental health services.
Cover mental health services at all. And every actor that I know deals with extreme depression, deals with extreme anxiety, deals with extreme rejection, and the need for someone to always say that they're good, the desire to have someone pat them on the back. You know, like when I'm working, when I do something that's really incredible, I don't mind the applause. I don't mind the director patting me on the back. But if I don't want somebody patting me on the back after every scene, saying that was great, because when they don't, here comes the cortisol levels rising, the fear. And you get hooked into that. A lot of ancestral PTSD.
Right, and when fish do it, their feces is designed.
Defecate and pour defecation. And what we care about the tone.
You're more than just this individual.
I have to tell and sense it. If it,
you know, as far as recorded history is concerned.
Yeah.
Don't follow that person's doctrine, and they will pick and
talk to, you know, the Pope that will hopefully talk Jesus and hopefully talk to God on your behalf when all you have to look inside and speak to the Creator within.
You know, that's what, if I'm not mistaken, in the Council of Nicaea, if you look at the Nicene Creed, you know, they speak specifically of a person named Arius, you know, who they were actually saying, don't follow that person's doctrine. And they said, matter of fact, take dude out if you can. That's not in the creed itself, but that was a part of the whole council, was to go against what this African, it was North African, was saying, which was, you don't need an intercessor. You don't need somebody coming in on your behalf. You know, God is within you. You know, just like the ancient African cultures and civilizations have always taught, you know, as far as recorded history is concerned.
Yep. That's what we need to, we need to get back to our roots. We need to get back to the simplicity of everything. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss is, if it's complicated, it's a lie. Can't understand it, it's a lie. Because we can understand all things. If it's told in a truthful manner, we can tell and sense it. If it's complicated and you need faith in order to get through, and you need belief to get through, then that's a lie. Because you don't need faith to breathe in and out. And that's the existence that comes from the Creator. That's what lets us know, okay, I've got the right to be here. And if I got the right to be here, I've got the right to be me. But also, with being me, I have a responsibility to everything else that's around me to fit with all things and to improve all things around me.
And then that changes even the definition of what me is. You know, I am all these things around me. You know, I interact with, I'm interdependent, and I'm interrelated to all of these things around me. And that's, again, the ancient perspective of yourself. You're more than just this individual box in this character. And that takes me back to what you were saying last time about the handwriting. You know, you said you switch up forward, backwards, both hands, and now you have 4 different perspectives of the thing that you're approaching. And that's the other part, is that ourselves are so expansive, but we're conditioned to limit to just one thing, one type of manifestation. But as you're demonstrating, the more you expand upon your capabilities, using, I often say our bodies are 24/7, 365 laboratories. So the more you utilize this body to expand your experience and your consciousness, the broader your understanding of who and what you are becomes. And therefore, the things that you're capable of. And then you begin to live more and more as what we would call our God selves, or our divine aspects. And the sooner that we can erase that line, that illusionary line that divides us from our divinity, I think the better off we're going to be as people.
I think we would be better off blind. Can you imagine? We wouldn't recognize race if we were blind.
Wow.
We wouldn't recognize beauty. You know, all of these, you know, the genetic coincidence of symmetry. We wouldn't recognize any of that if we were blind. And we would actually care about the tone and what's being said. And in truth, we are blind. We only see less than 1/2 of 1% of the total spectrum.
Right.
Total light spectrum. And with that 1/2 of 1%, less than 1/2 of 1%, we judge everything.
Everything.
And we are cosmically blind.
Right.
And intellectually retarded on a conscious and cosmic level. We defecate and pour defecation into clean water. Don't think that is fish. There's no other creature that goes over its water source and defecates inside it.
Dang. Right, and when fish do it, their feces is designed to do that. You know, it's designed not to contaminate it or pollute it, because it was built based on it. Wow. And so that's very profound, because of course, you know, understand we see a very small spectrum, but the idea that we are literally unaware of the majority of things that are around us because we can't perceive them with our own, well, with the faculties that we've been conditioned to strengthen.
World dimension, we don't move fast enough to recognize those great deities that are right around us and moving around.
If you watching, make sure you hit that like button for me. Wow.
Around us, but they're just moving at a different temporal dimension. They don't necessarily they're not crystallized at 93 million miles away from the sun, where carbon and oxygen and all of the elements that make us up, at this point it crystallizes. You push us a little closer, we melt. This convenience.
By the way, this is Dr. J and Terrence Howard, actor Terrence Howard, and our guest philosopher or whatnot.
Convenient compound of pressure and motion conditions that we call ourselves. You know, this disappears when we move a little further away from the sun. And that's one of the things that we didn't talk about before, but hey, Beethoven, get over here. On.
The pocket watch.
Yes, I'm in the middle of a meeting, so gone back in the house.
We're about to get on that piano, huh?
Oh, wait, I'll get you the pocket watch. Go inside, and I'll get you. I'll take care of that.
The clock.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna have for a bit. So say that again. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So no, you were saying that, and it's very profound. A little bit closer, we melt, and we'll say it's because it heated up and we couldn't withstand that heat. But it's a transformation of the pressure condition, which then transforms the elements that make up all of our existence. A little bit further out, different pressure condition.
To fit together. Wait a minute. Too hot to fit together this close. We're gonna have to separate a little bit more. I know you do, but gone in the house, son.
Wow, that's pretty profound. That's pretty profound. I'm gonna say it that way. Huh. So.
Okay, let me see if we're gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to call and get some reinforcements because I'm not in the mood to listen to his daddy right now.
Yeah.
I am not in the mood to be mean to him. Okay. Yeah. Hey, will you have Mimi come and get Hero? I'm in the middle of a Zoom.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a pretty profound experience, y'all. You know, what my brother takes care of home. I hope that you all attract. Wow, brother.
Kill us. The oil companies are killing the entire world, and they themselves.
And now he about to talk about the flower of life. It's another video, Fuck It Time. That's why I didn't want to let that play too long, but it's a good podcast. It's a good conversation. And this is part 2. So.
Will die, you know. It'll all be over. So if we don't do something about it, you know, we've got to wake up. So that's why the introduction of new fundamentals are necessary. So we can function. Yes. So one of the things that I talked about in our talk before was that there are no straight lines in the universe. But if you could play the video for the platonic solids, I wanted to know where they got where they came up with the platonic solids. And there's a number of different stories, but the story I heard more than anything in all of the research I did came back to the flower of life, the oldest symbol of kind. So if you could play that video, we could get into that aspect of it.
Yeah, platonic solids video coming up. I'm gonna share my screen and make sure I share the audio. We'll jump right into that.
All of the research I did came back to the flower of life, the oldest symbol. So if you could play that
this is fascinating, and the point that it's all related, you know, is the walk away. People who don't walk away from anything else, just understand that, you know, there's an interrelatedness and an interconnectedness to all things. And it's that saying that we used to have in ancient times, as above, so below. Okay, here we go. Sharing the screen now. Here's the platonic solid video. I'm playing it now, though. Can you see it?
Yeah, I
Let me turn mine up, like, right here. Very you, Sean. I forgot about that one. Hold on, I'm about to gradually bring it up to see if all the music down.
play it from that point, straight lines, cleft out, in whatever language, it was always called the flower of life. Well, 6,000 years ago, or however long ago, someone had the clever idea of saying, you know what, why don't I draw straight lines where the circles overlap? And play it from that point.
Yeah. So real quick, let me ask you. So this right here, what we're looking at is the flower of life, right?
This is the original flower that's carved into so many different places throughout the world. It's always been respected. And there's 64 separate circles.
And that's what the circles that we just saw being generated are literally how this image is created, by simply drawing 64 circles in this pattern.
Yep.
And I hope y'all are seeing how this is manifesting and how these symbols, and this is like a sand dollar almost.
Now, each one of these circles you have to see as a magnetic field. That's how magnetism behaves. Everything expands. But what they did 6,000 years ago, keep it playing, allow it to keep playing,
Okay.
is they began to average the space where the circles overlap. So that tetrahedron that we see, because we know that there are no straight lines because all energy has an equal and opposite. Let's pause it for a second, just so I can repeat that. All energy is expressed in motion, all motion expressed in waves, and all waves are curved. Therefore, it is impossible to create a straight line because every action has the equal and opposite reaction, and the greater that reaction, the greater the resistance and the greater that curvature. This curvature is the equanimity of all the interactions within a particular system. It all balances out into these perfect spheres, which are magnetic fields around each other, which is a discharging aspect. And where these magnetic fields interact, this is where electricity begins. Where they overlap, they're forced to create spin. But 6,000 years ago, they said they're going to average the spin, and these toroidal happening, and they generated straight lines.
And that's
Lines
crazy how
bring
energy and waves
right.
work, and
And
ain't
now
nothing
we
really
clearly see that
in a
even
straight
the
line if you
cube,
think
where we get
about
the
it.
Pythagorean
Everything
theorem from,
curved
a squared
from
plus b
women
squared
to
is equal to
lines
c
on the
squared,
street,
is an
except for
average. It's an
those lines.
approximation.
But just
But
lines
most of our
in
math,
general and symmetry
our
and all that
algebra, our
stuff with
calculus, all of those things are
motion,
generated
with art,
through
with
this
certain things
circumstance,
that's
which also
created
led into
by
why
our
1 times
creator.
1, could not possibly equal 1, because what if you made each side of those lengths 1? Then you couldn't get the proper hypotenuse. So all of these problems arose from them creating straight lines where there were no straight lines. And this has been called, the greatest discovery, basically, in geometry and for mathematics. But
And that's the platonic solids you're speaking about.
The platonic solids are averages. Euclid went to Egypt and pulled these things and wrote them down, and everyone took credit for them, but they took credit for some falsehoods. So they've watched it go through, and it'll go through the dodecahedron. So what I decided to do, what I was instructed to do, was to take the same flower. So can we go to my app?
Yep.
I think they've seen this already anyway, so they understand. So if we'll go to my app.
And that's the one where we can manipulate
Yep, that's the web application. It's in my book, tclc.com. Going to page 134 on the right side of it, it'll say web application.
Okay, but it's the one that the second one, this one here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me move it.
This right here. This is what they'll find. Tap on it, and we can start playing with it.
Okay, let's get this. So
it's
very.
If you watching, make sure you hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. No cap. But just look at it, y'all.
Yep, there we go. And what he has there's an icon going from left to right, is what happens when 4 bubbles meet. I took actually the actual curved triangular pieces, and I put 4 of them together based on universal ratios. And this is what it generated. Will you bring that closer? Yeah. So everybody can and look at it from not just the top, but from maybe a 60-degree perspective. A little more and closer, just so they can see it. What you're looking at right here, if you'll rotate it, this is the point where bubbles meet. This is the negative space that they cannot compress. This is what we would call dark matter. This is the proton, the geometry of hydrogen itself. And we'll see that it has 8 poles. It has 4 contractive poles, and that's where it concaves in, and it has electricity seeking a higher pressure condition will cause a cavity, and magnetism, unable to maintain its electrical potential, ends up spinning off of the vortices.
So real quick, brother, when you say 4 bubbles, you're literally saying that there's a sphere here in this space, and this is just the negative space when 4 spheres are literally coming together. This is the space that's left in between them.
I know this is a lot. I know it might sound crazy to some
Real,
people, bro.
because I know people
But
bubbles.
hey, y'all, it's something to think about.
Oh, sorry. You know, and that's what people.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just real quick. This people are trying to understand when you say bubbles, you're literally talking about 4 spheres, and like you said, you can see this concave. It's like you could put a sphere here, you could put a sphere here, one on the other side, and then one beneath. And this is the absolute. This is the actual shape that you're going to get. And one thing, really quickly, and then I'll shut up. But one thing, when I was looking at this earlier, I literally see the 4. I see 3 circles on the ground here. You got this circle here. I don't know if you can see my pointer. Circle here, a circle here, and a circle here. These are 3 of the bubbles, 3 of the spheres right there. And you put another one underneath it, and you got your 4th.
And it looks like an infinite amount if you probably kept it going, but the shape of it, it looks crazy. It looked like an optical illusion as well, too. Look crazy. I don't know, man. But symbols and stuff, bro, you see a repeated pattern in history sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what the flower of life was trying to leave and tell us, you know, 10,000 years ago by whomever advanced civilization told us that these would be the fundamentals, because everything expands as a sphere and contracts in geometric form. These contractions are the result of expanding waves that hit the edge of the universe and come back. And it's periodic and regular enough to where we have the structure that we call hydrogen, the proton.
And when you say periodic, that's the periodic part, right? It's just in intervals, predictable intervals.
Yes.
Nice. Should I go to the next one?
Yeah, go to the next one. The one next to it, and I called this one a tetrad. And the next one, and I patented these things because I wanted to make sure that it was understood where they came from. Because a lot of times our work is not attributed to us.
Right,
but you'll
Washington Carver, he didn't want the patents for this stuff.
Yep. So like that last one that we saw, it had 4 equal contractive poles with 4 repulsive poles, 4 electric poles, you know, and contractive electric poles, centripetal electric poles, and 4 magnetic centripetal. Now this is what happens when 8 bubbles meet. This is the negative space where 8 bubbles have met. But you'll notice it has 8 contractive poles if you spin that around. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. And around it, you'll see the same. You can go slightly underneath it. Yeah, you'll see the other 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that, but yeah, just spinning it around it. Just turn it, continue turning it to the left. Yep, you'll see that there's 4 poles there, 4 contractive poles. So there's 8 contractive poles, electric poles, but only 6 magnetic poles. Only 6 points where it's discharging. Now, wouldn't that sound like a strong nuclear force in comparison to the weak nuclear force of where it's an equal and it's 4 equal contractive poles and 4 equal repulsive poles? Well, let's.
When you're talking about the 6, you're talking about these 6 points here, right? 1, 2, 3.
Vortices. Yep, each vortice is a magnetic pole. It's a discharging pole. It only has a greater electrical potential, a greater electrical and attractive potential than a repulsive potential. Well, let's see what happens when 6 bubbles meet. If you go into the very next one, right? Yep, right there. Wow, look at what's happened. This thing has now this hunting, which is in the center, has attracted these 2 lesser attractive components. This looks just like a photon, and you can see those big swipes where 6 bubbles or 6 fast-moving bubbles are occurring. 1, 2, 3. You keep turning it, and you'll get all 6 of them. Each of those huge, and you'll see it's a combination, and this is a step-up transformer. You're stepping up from 3 sides, 1, 2, 3 from these, from the tetraons that's on the ends of it. You're stepping up from 1, 2, 3 up to a 1, 2, 3, 4 on electrical potential with the Huntian, and then it steps back down to a 1, 2, 3. Well, that's everything that we see with our mechanical and our electrical transformers, a step up and step down transformation. But the stable structure. So let's see what happens when 12 bubbles.
Okay, so real quick, you said with our transformer, you're literally talking about the electrical transformers that are on the power line, stepping up and stepping down energy.
Yes, a step up and step down transformation. Everything behaves that way. So here's the I say is here is the strong and weak nuclear forces. And now this is what happens when 12 bubbles meet. And what this ties into is what we were saying under different motion and pressure conditions. You get a different crystallization. Here's another stable structure, but it still has 4 electrical potentials that hasn't been accounted for in the Huntian. Still has 4 unaccounted for. The points. If you go to the
Now we about to go to the video. Vowels have power, and we're gonna give my review on it. Just see if y'all seen it or not. We could probably go to maybe the other Terrence Howard video or this Crystal. Y'all probably already heard about it, but it's supposed to make your brain happy. So I don't know, when you put fire to it.
Resonating with the transformative power of the correlation between the shapes of toroidal fields and the sounds. It's a fascinating correlation between the shapes of toroidal fields and the sounds, with a particular emphasis on vowels. The human vocal apparatus, with its intricate arrangement of the larynx, vocal cords, and resonating chambers, acts as a unique instrument through which the energy of speech is channeled. When we vocalize different letters and sounds, the intention behind the sound combines with the physical mechanics of our vocal apparatus, giving rise to a distinct toroidal pattern. For example, the vowel sound A is associated with a toroidal field that expands outward from the speaker, resembling a pulsating sphere of energy encompassing its surroundings. This expansive field signifies openness, creativity, and the primal spark of creation. On the other hand, the vowel sound O generates a toroidal
My bad for the
field
mic feedback,
that
y'all.
moves back upon itself, evoking a sense of containment, introspection, and cyclical energy. Each letter and sound in the phonetic spectrum is thought to generate its own unique toroidal pattern, resonating with its corresponding energetic signature. The shape and characteristics of these toroidal fields are believed to arise from the interplay of containment, introspection, and cyclical energy. Each letter and sound in the phonetic spectrum is thought
And then when you also think about it, especially with the English language and just certain words in the English language, good, bad, sad, certain angry have vowels in it in the English language, and words and spells, stuff. Think about it, y'all.
to generate its own unique toroidal pattern, resonating with its corresponding energetic signature. The shape and characteristics of these toroidal fields are believed to arise from the interplay between the physical acts of vocalization, the intention behind the sound, and the metaphysical aspects of language. Moreover, the existence of distinct toroidal shapes and fields associated with different sounds and letters suggests a profound connection between the human voice and the fundamental structure of reality. It implies that language, in its essence, is not merely a tool for communication, but a conduit through which we interact with the energetic fabric of the universe. By exploring and understanding the intricate interplay between toroidal fields and the sounds we produce, we gain insight into the profound relationship between language and the unseen realms. The toroidal fields generated by our vocal expressions act as portals, allowing energy and information to flow between dimensions, transcending the boundaries of our physical reality.
In Christianity, it's the word. In Hinduism, it's Om. The Egyptians believed the universe was sung into creation, and the original people of Australia believed that the world was created with 3 sacred songs. And then we have the phenomenal similarities between the 6 days of creation in Christianity and the word that created everything, the 6 aspects of Om, and the 6 aspects of the all-seeing eye of Horus, and you start seeing the connections between all these ancient cultures and the creation stories. Sound is the source of all creation. Sound and resonance is responsible for everything.
Everything owes its existence solely and completely to sound. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. We are told that this is how the worlds began and how creation took shape. We put that into the modern idiom and say that into the great voids of space came a sound, and matter took shape.
Among the building blocks of language, vowels hold a special significance in shaping our toroidal fields. Vowels, characterized by an open vocal tract and unobstructed airflow, serve as vehicles for the uninhabited expression of sound. Through focused research and observation, experts have delved into the distinct toroidal patterns evoked by different vowel sounds, revealing a mesmerizing symphony of energy that permeates our spoken words. The power of vowels lies in their ability to evoke unique toroidal fields, each with its own intricate pattern and energetic signature. Consider the sound of A as an example. This vowel sound generates a toroidal field that expands outward from the speaker, embracing and encompassing its surroundings. It is as if this expansive field signifies the openness, creativity, and the primordial spark of creation itself. The A sound resonates with the depths of human expression, giving rise to a toroidal field that radiates with the potential for infinite possibilities. In contrast, the vowel sound E produces a toroidal field characterized by a spiraling motion. This field evokes energies of transformation and growth, symbolizing the perpetual cycle of renewal. The spiraling toroidal pattern mirrors the inherent dynamism and fluidity of life, capturing the essence of evolution and progress. With each utterance of the E sound, a symphony of spiraling toroidal fields unfolds, resonating with the transformation.
And that's crazy in itself right there, y'all.
Power of the spoken word. Every vowel sound manifests its own unique toroidal pattern, contributing to the rich symphony of energy that infuses our language. The vowel I generates a toroidal field that radiates with focused intensity, representing clarity and self-expression. The O sound produces a toroidal field that exhibits a circular, oscillating motion, symbolizing completeness and harmony. The U sound engenders a toroidal field with a constricting motion, reflecting the energy of consolidation and concentration. Each vowel sound adds its distinctive resonance to the multi-dimensional symphony that emanates from our spoken words. The interplay between vowels and their associated toroidal fields serves as a profound reminder of the inherent connection between language and the energetic fabric of existence. As we shape these toroidal fields through vocalization, we not only communicate with one another, but also engage with the unseen dimensions of reality. Our words become imbued with the vibrational essence of the toroidal fields they manifest, transmitting their energetic signatures into the fabric of creation. Moreover, this multi-dimensional symphony of vowels highlights the potential for intentional and conscious use of language. By understanding the unique toroidal patterns evoked by each vowel sound, we gain the ability to harness the power of these energetic fields for various purposes. We can infuse our words with intention, directing the flow of energy in alignment with our desires and intentions. Through the conscious modulation of vowel sounds, we become active participants in the symphony of creation, shaping our reality through the energetic currents we generate. In conclusion, vowels form the cornerstone of language, and their significance extends beyond mere communication. Through the focused research and observation of experts, distinct toroidal patterns associated with different vowel sounds have been unveiled. Each vowel sound contributes its own unique resonance to the multidimensional symphony of energy that permeates our spoken words. By understanding and harnessing the power of these toroidal fields, we gain the ability to shape our reality and manifest our intentions through the intentional use of language. The symphony of vowels invites us to embrace the inherent creative potential within our voices as we contribute to the harmonious dance of energy that weaves through the tapestry of existence.
And then Eric Larson is the guy that created the cymoscope, and this is when you can suddenly see how the human voice has potential to create infinitely. That with our voice, we have the potential to create everything and anything we can imagine. That we are indeed creators. And remember, every thought you have also has a frequency and a vibration, has a resonance, just like your voice. And some of these pictures, the images of this cymoscope images, tell us that it was these sounds, the images of the sound, that actually inspired religious symbols. That beautiful cross in a circle at the center of some of these cymatic photographs give us a very clear indication that the creators of the religious symbols knew exactly what they were talking about, that the source of creation is sound itself. And that takes us to what sound does. Sound pretty much does everything you can imagine because it's a source of creation. Every sound we make, every sound, every letter of the alphabet has its own toroidal shape, specific shape that is well defined and well studied and well recognized.
Especially when you
Everything
speak
manifests
things
as
into
a torus
existence.
shape or in the
Makes
toroidal
sense.
field. Everything around us,
let there
from
be
galaxies
light.
to solar systems to all kinds of things, to atoms to electrons, everything is a torus shape.
The journey from toroidal fields to scalar waves unveils a remarkable transformation, bridging the realms of metaphysics and scientific principles.
Make sure you hit that like button for me and subscribe for more. I greatly appreciate it. I ain't gonna be on here too much longer though.
Manifestation of scalar waves. Scalar waves, enigmatic in nature, possess a unique property that allows them to traverse space instantaneously, transcending the limitations of traditional electromagnetic waves. Scalar waves, unlike electromagnetic waves, are scalar in nature, devoid of polarity or directional flow. They operate in harmony with the fundamental fabric of the universe, permeating all levels of creation. This attribute grants them the ability to transcend the constraints of time and space, serving as messengers that connect distant realms in an instant. The transition from toroidal fields to scalar waves involves a complex interplay between metaphysical concepts and scientific principles. As the toroidal fields created by our vocal expressions intersect with the vast cosmic field, a metamorphosis occurs, transmuting these energetic patterns into scalar waves. This process is guided by the intricate dance of intention, vibration, and the energetic fabric of the universe. The toroidal fields, with their unique shapes and energetic signatures associated with different letters and sounds, become carriers of information and energy. When these toroidal fields interact with the vast cosmic field, their energy undergoes a transformation, culminating in the emergence of scalar waves. This transformation occurs in an instant, transcending the constraints of time and space, and permeates all of creation. The instantaneous propagation of scalar waves implies a non-locality of influence, where the thoughts and words we express possess the potential to shape reality beyond the confines of space and time. Scalar waves operate outside the traditional boundaries of cause and effect, allowing for an immediate and profound impact on the fabric of existence. Through the emission of these scalar waves, our intentions and the vibrational essence of our words permeate the interconnected web of creation.
Y'all again, tell me what y'all think if you watch this on the playback. Let me know if you watching this live right now. I can't really see who's watching, but let me know in the chat. Well, I can see, but it requires me to exit out the game. But I got one more video before I'm on my way out, and then we done.
Influencing it instantly.
I just find this extraordinary that there is a crystal, there is a material that you could heat up and create negative ions.
The concept that tourmaline crystals can promote happiness by emitting negative ions made me think of a quote from Nikola Tesla. In a crystal, we have clear evidence of the existence of a formative life principle, and though we cannot understand the life of a crystal, it is nonetheless a living being. This topic really caught my attention, so I started looking into the mysteries of crystals. I'm telling you, I found powerful information, so please stay with me. Your mind will be blown. Before we explore Tesla's ideas about crystals, let's first understand more about tourmaline crystals and negative ions.
Tourmaline has a structure such that if you heat it and cause it to expand, it will actually develop an electric charge on the faces of the crystal. You have discharges between those faces, break down in air and forming ions, and that charge then can get transferred to any organic molecule that's present in the air. A 5-degree change was enough to generate ions.
Tourmaline crystals are highly regarded in both scientific and esoteric circles for their unique electrical properties, particularly their ability to emit negative ions. This characteristic of tourmaline sets it apart from other crystals and has made it a subject of interest in various fields of study. Negative ions are atoms or molecules with more electrons than protons, giving them a net negative charge. These ions are naturally abundant in certain environments like mountains, waterfalls, and beaches, especially where water is in motion. It's the reason why these natural settings often feel refreshing and invigorating. In the context of tourmaline, the crystal is known to produce negative ions under certain conditions, such as when heated or put under pressure, a phenomenon known as piezoelectricity. The emission of negative ions by tourmaline is believed to have several beneficial effects on the human body and mind. One of the primary claims is the impact on mood and overall well-being. It's often suggested that exposure to negative ions can enhance feelings of happiness and reduce feelings of depression or anxiety. This belief is somewhat supported by studies that indicate negative ions
I don't know about y'all,
have a positive effect on mood and psychological well-being.
but
Crystals that share similarities with
I ain't no big witchcraft person, but I think that
amethyst,
some of that stuff
citrine, and clear quartz. Like
is plausible,
these
you know.
crystals are believed to have the ability to emit negative ions, which are thought to contribute
Yo, what's
to
good,
feelings
Detroit?
of happiness and overall
Appreciate it for
well-being.
coming through, bro.
Amethyst is known for its deep purple hue and is highly valued for its purported ability to purify and transmute negative energy into positive energy. It is often used in spaces to create a calming and soothing environment, which can indirectly contribute to a sense of happiness and contentment. Citrine, with its bright yellow color, is often associated with positivity and joy. It is believed to emit a frequency that promotes optimism and can help uplift the mood. Citrine is commonly used in practices aimed at attracting abundance and personal development. Clear quartz, known as a master healer, is thought to amplify the energy of other crystals and the intentions of the user. Its capacity to emit negative ions is believed to enhance mental clarity and emotional stability, thereby contributing to an overall sense of happiness and well-being. The advent of X-ray crystallography was a game changer in understanding the mysterious inner workings of crystals. This technique, which involves directing X-rays at a crystal to observe the diffraction pattern, has uncovered intricate details about the atomic and molecular structure of crystals. Before this technology, the knowledge about the internal structure of crystals was based mostly on observation and hypothesis. With X-ray crystallography, scientists could finally see the exact
I ain't gonna be on here too much longer. Tell me what y'all think about that. Probably got one more video to play, but and then that shit.
Repeating pattern forming a lattice. This lattice structure explains many of the physical properties of crystals, such as their shapes, growth patterns, and how they break. One of the most significant findings was the discovery of the structure of common table salt, sodium chloride. X-rays showed that sodium and chloride ions are arranged in a simple cubic structure, alternating with each other, which explains why salt crystals tend to form cubes. X-ray crystallography also revealed the complex structures of more intricate crystals.
Phrase that. Have you ever seen face to face an alien being?
Yes, I have. Absolutely.
How?
By the way, this is interview with Dr. Stephen Greer, something like that. I think I seen him on Joe Rogan or something. He looked familiar, but came across this. Dude say he came in contact with an alien. His story seems pretty plausible, so let's see. Man, we talking about aliens.
How old were you?
That was the event in 1973, so I was 18. I just turned 18.
Okay, so you're old enough to know the difference between right and wrong, between fantasy and reality.
Oh, yeah.
In the 70s,
I never do any drugs. This was not on LSD in the 70s.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you. You're coming out of the 60s. LSD.
I never touched the stuff.
Just took place. You're not on any magic mushrooms or anything at the time.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Can you describe?
Actually, this ET I'm talking about is probably about 4 to 5 feet tall. I didn't know what the heck was going on, and I was up on this mountain in outside Boone, North Carolina, up in the mountains. And this, at first, I thought it was a deer on its hind legs looking at me.
Cuz said boom, and I'm familiar with that area. I ain't gonna lie.
Over and touched my right shoulder.
I ain't never seen a UFO there or a quote unquote alien, but I could see something going down there.
And it was this amazing event that happened with this being. So it was not at all frightening to me. It was beautiful, but and I think that what the interest of that particular experience, what those ETs was a young guy, 18, who had had a near-death experience, who understood consciousness and understood the central role of what's called in physics entanglement, where everything's connected in the consciousness field, but also in physics. And so in order to understand going from a far distant star system to here, you're not going to do that in a straight line at the speed of light. You're going to do it through understanding what the physicists call non-locality, where nothing has to be fixed in space-time. And this gets into some very advanced concepts. But the ultimate non-local field is you right there. You're awake and conscious. Your conscious mind is, if you were to calm it down, that's what meditation does, and calm it down is actually connected to this field of consciousness that's everywhere, simultaneously everywhere. This is why the CIA had a very successful project dealing with what's called remote viewing, where people use certain techniques in consciousness and be able to see remote places. I got to know a lot of the really accomplished remote viewers who worked in that CIA program back years ago. And that program ran for 20, 30 years. People say, oh, that can't be. I said, oh, yeah, it is. It's like a seer. It's like a shaman or a seer who has the ability to see remote places or the future with consciousness. Now think about technologies where you're dealing with civilizations that are 100,000 or more years advanced than us, many of them. All their technologies, we're using the electromagnetic system here at the speed of light, right? 186,000 miles per second. They're using technologies that are interfacing with quantum thought, sort of like really advanced, what Elon Musk is working on with Neuralink, but not with wires and stuff, but where it's a consciousness field and thought interfacing with machine. And there's been a lot of research done by
You heard what he was saying? Let's run it back.
with stuff really advanced, what the 186,000 miles per second. They're using technologies that are interfacing with quantum thought, sort of like really advanced, what Elon Musk is working on with Neuralink, but not with wires and stuff, but where it's a consciousness field and thought interfacing with machine. And there's been a lot of research done by various scientists in the last few decades on this, where consciousness and thought can affect a machine or a random number generator, which are a quantum machine, basically, like Dr. John did at Princeton, at the Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research Lab, the Peer Lab. People should look that up. He was brilliant. I knew him. He really understood this whole idea of the consciousness field and matter and electromagnetism and being interconnected. So when you're dealing with extraterrestrial civilizations, they have perfected that the way we have perfected a cell phone or a video call or FaceTime. So that's the other thing people have to understand. You're not dealing with your granddad's Oldsmobile here. You're dealing with some really advanced technology, which the good part of it is that a lot of those technologies, if they're brought forward, and this is why I'm here in LA for this premiere of The Lost Century and How to Reclaim It, this new documentary that just has come out. It's about all these technologies. But if those were brought out, in 10 to 20 years, we'd have a new civilization here. But they have to be brought out wisely, and they have to be brought out for peaceful applications. And a lot of them have to be held back for a while. The things that fly, the things that are, anti-grav things that fly around. But the ones that just generate energy, that would, get us off oil and gas and coal and eliminate the poverty that's in the world very quickly. But, you're going to have certain losers too in that. You're going to have, countries and corporations and powerful people who have interest in the conventional energy systems of oil, gas, coal, public utilities. You're not going to need a public utility. You'd have a box at your house that would be pulling energy out of what's called this 0 point energy field. or quantum energy entangled field. And it'd run your house with no power bill, ever.
And you know the masses won't never let that happen, y'all. Oh, it's an Amber Alert or a tornado warning or something. But, oh, hold on.
Same thing with your car. You wouldn't have to plug it in like a Tesla. It'd be a real Tesla. Nikola Tesla had one. He had an electric car. It never had to be plugged in. So the point I'm making here is that we really could restart civilization and put it back on track. But there are a lot of headwinds against it. I mean, think of the powerful interests that do not want that to happen. I mean, they're controlling wealth that is way dwarfs the entire budget of the United States. Way more. Orders of magnitude more. So that's the problem. And this is where...
So are you saying the cover... Because
that's the heart of the cover-up right there.
Yeah, because I was always under the assumption that the cover-up, man wasn't ready to challenge everything we've ever been taught about God, about the Creator. It would challenge. We just didn't have the mental aptitude to understand and accept that there was life beyond what we knew.
Well,
are you saying
in the early days? No, I think in the early days there was concern about that. I think certainly now, since 60% of the population believe there's life out there, and more than that number now believe that the UFOs are real. Now that the Pentagon has admitted those objects that they have on sensors and cameras are real. And I've talked to the F-18 Hornet pilot who took that footage. So, I mean, this is getting to be a settled question. I don't think, I think back in the 40s, 50s, there was some of that concern. There's still some of that concern from your more fanatical religious elements who don't want to accept that there's life anywhere but here. But that's the lunatic fringe, 10-15%. I think most people accept that. I was at the Vatican talking to one of the chief theologians for the Pope some years ago, and he said, God is not so stupid to have left all of his hopes for intelligent life in the universe in just humans. It was very...
Let me know what y'all think. On that note, we out. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button on your way in and out. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Hopefully y'all ate all y'all popcorn. And we go to the next one.
Pocketofdinerobeats.
Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
of Dinero.